They say that music gives a soul to the universe. Let's see if the virtuoso Matea Leko will agree with that. Welcome to our podcast.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for hosting I Love Style and Madame Figaro podcast to your house.
It's my pleasure, and I have to admit I was quite nervous before you came.
Why?
Because usually my studio is a mess. I'm a mom of a toddler, so he loves to play with the piano and interrupt me when I practice. So there were a lot of toys to remove, a lot of things to clean up.
Now I want to start from the very beginning when you came in Cyprus. First of all, what brought you to Cyprus?
I'm a love immigrant. So my husband is Cypriot. He wooed me and, how do you say this politely, played all the tricks that men know how to play on women.
He was really flirty with you.
Oh, yes, he was like a James Bond. I fell in love, moved to the island. He still is, to be fair. So when I just got here, the reason I came was love, basically, and I moved with my two babies. One is my piano, and the other one is my dog, Pablo, who is now called Bambos, to be more Cypriot. It was a request of my husband. And now there is a real baby, my little son, who is basically my biggest inspiration for my new life in music, because as an artist, I've changed and evolved as well. I even had a part of my life where I left music completely.
Why is that?
I think it was necessary, like in any intense relationship, because it's very difficult to treat creation as a job only. It's impossible to detach it from yourself personally. So with all those intense emotions, and I was touring a lot, performing way too much for what I find healthy nowadays, because when you're a young athlete or an artist, the whole point is to just, run as a, how do you say in English? Like a horse that just goes and goes.
And just to run for the finish line, to end first, and you have to be focused on what you do. But when you are going to fall in love, something changes quickly, radically.
This was not about, you mean falling in love like
Yes.
personally?
Yeah.
No, it had nothing to do with that. It was way before I met my husband. I lived in Austria for 10 years, so I'm from Croatia. I started university early because I was a talent. I was 25 when I had my third master's in music, so I was really a nerdy kid. And I lived in Austria for 10 years, and at one point I just felt something was off. I got a China tour, which was a great thing, and everyone around me was really excited, and I just couldn't feel any excitement about it. I think I overdid it, because being exposed to such intense emotion, ups and downs the whole time, I don't think it's the healthiest thing in the world. And when music is a business, and in the end it is a business if you only do that,
Yes.
If you do too much, you cannot give all of yourself to the performance or to the audience without paying a price with your health or anything. So for me today, now I have, after almost 30 years of performing, now I have a perfect balance where creating and performing, there's still a bit of stress, of course, but it's pleasure. I can really give a big part of myself to the work that I'm doing, to the piece that I'm performing, to the audience that's there. I found the balance that suits me, also that suits me as a mother.
It was really difficult to find that balance, because you mentioned that it was all about the health.
Well, look, health is many different things. No, nothing tragic happened, thank God. But burnouts are very common, not just in my industry, in any top performing industry. It's a very competitive sport as well. I don't like calling it a sport, and I didn't even enjoy the competitions, because music, in sports you have numbers that measure. With music, it's really a matter of taste as well. Some people will like you, some people won't like you. It's okay. It's just different personalities expressing. So this idea of competing, I think it's unhealthy to start with. I think you can only compete with yourself.
Yeah, I totally
get
agree
better.
with that. But when you start something new, there are a lot of people that they got jealous or they want to be your rivals for no reason, just because they don't want you to be on the top.
But this, I think, happens in every industry. But this is more intense. I understand what you mean. Maybe the only unhealthy thing is that this rivalry starts way too early. So already as a child, you're exposed to such bizarre sabotage levels. I mean, now when I think of it as an adult, that today it would be called like hardcore bullying, the stuff they were doing to us. But it was just like that, and we grew up differently, and you had to be tough and strong and endure. And it's a discipline that requires piano, violin, heavier than them all, ballet. Those are disciplines that really require this level of hard work for 20 years to get to the level of skill, just motorically as well, to then be able to really have fun with it and enjoy.
I know when you do something, you have to have fun. Otherwise, it becomes really dangerous, not only for your health, but for the people as well that they are around you.
Back then I was single, so I was really dedicated to my career, which I'm really happy about today because I became a mama later in life.
That was something that you always wanted?
Yeah. I just wanted to have the right partner as well. I didn't want to play.
How did you know that Sabas was the one?
Good question. Oh, many different factors. From one thing that I never felt before was, so when I met him, because we didn't meet in our 20s, we were both already adults with, you know who you are, you know what you like, what you don't like.
You know yourself.
Yeah, you know yourself well, which makes it quite easy to recognize quickly, is something a match or not? So you don't waste time on relationships that...
So you did that maybe in 1 year and you felt that, okay, let's get married.
Yeah, he proposed.
It was something like that?
Yes, it was 1 year and then he proposed.
And I think that when I went through your Instagram, I saw a
Instagram,
post.
the diary.
Yeah, it's a personal diary, but you choose what you're going to do publicly.
Of course, you put only nice things there.
Yeah. So there is a post there with Sabas, and you have under the picture the label that you said yes twice.
We did, yeah. So we canceled 2 weddings and then we had 2 weddings.
Due to the coronavirus?
Yes. I wish it was a cooler, more dramatic story, but no, it was good. So the first wedding we canceled because of COVID. The second wedding we canceled because Papu, my husband's father, bless him, he died. He passed away, so we canceled that year. And the year after, we had my idea of the wedding, and it's very unusual, was just the 2 of us and a civil ceremony. So I think I offended many family members in Croatia and in Cyprus, because we both come from very big families. I just didn't see myself in the big
picture.
So the first wedding we did in Cyprus, the civil wedding. And then we had a year after a beautiful wedding in Antiparos in Greece in summertime. So that was really a beautiful celebration for our family and our closest friends. And it was wonderful because it's different when people travel for the wedding. Then the whole weekend just feels like one beautiful long party, and everyone came with kids, and you're eating pizza on the beach, and then you have your nice dresses and dancing. My father learned a little bit of Greek dances.
Zorpas and all this stuff, I guess so. Because, Zorpas is worldwide. Everybody knows it.
Yes.
From Anthony Quinn and the movie and all this stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now that I talked about movie, have you watched the movie The Pianist of 2002?
Adrian Brody?
Yeah, that's right.
Of course.
Yeah. What do you think that this movie is about? And because, it's not only about the Nazis and the music, it's something more deep. It connects people through struggles.
I really loved the movie. it's really, really sad. I think Adrian Brody was brilliant in the movie.
He's a great actor.
No, but especially in this one, it's just like the role was made for him and the other way around. Actually, I watched it in a different way as a musician because all his sadness and hardship that's happening around him, he feels it through the music of mostly romantic period. So Chopin, who was Polish, and his first ballad that he played in the movie, which is a very famous piece. I haven't played it in 20 years, and I just performed it in Limassol in December.
Okay.
Because it's a piece that's, I don't know how you call it in English. It's a catch for competitions.
Oh, okay.
So you have to play it. Yeah. It has to be in your repertoire when you're a young pianist. But it's impossible to please the jury.
It's just like they go to The Voice, the competition on TV.
It's like taking Whitney Houston's song.
Yeah, not only Mariah Carey. That's what I was going to tell.
Exactly, something like that. And in the movie, I'm not sure if he played it himself. I doubt it.
Yeah, it was him.
Really?
Yeah, it was him. He didn't want to have a double stand or something. It was him.
Okay, then he must have had some piano.
He's really talented,
as a
honestly.
kid as well. Yeah. That piece captures beautifully the suffering of Chopin, who is, can I be a nerd? Now a little bit. So Chopin is a romantic composer who wrote all these pieces in his early 20s, all these ballads. And there are the drama mixed with him being an immigrant, because he went to Paris, plus his sad love stories, because he would always fall in love desperately with somebody who doesn't want him. So today you have kids who are, I don't know, anxious on social media. He was a kid who would write a brilliant piece of music because his heart was broken. Yeah. So I think in the movie they really got this sadness, this deep, this quiet sadness, not the screaming sadness, beautifully.
Yeah. Would you like to see yourself in a movie playing something, maybe with Andrea Bocelli?
Oh, why not? Yeah. Yeah, we went for, we got a beautiful wedding present from one of our friends. We went to Bocelli's house in Italy, in Tuscany, where he had private concerts in his own garden. So when I saw that, I said, okay, this is my goal in life. He's performing with some of my friends as well, the cellist Hauser, who studied with me in Croatia, who is now a global megastar. And I like his style of performing, and I like the romanticism of his music. So
he feels the music from inside, from his soul, and that's the whole point.
Yeah, well, every artist should be as authentic. That's why when people ask me, like, what do you play? And I say I don't like to say classical music, because they put you in the box thinking that classical music is just one thing. And I'm like, okay, classical music can be million things, million different expressions. You have rock and roll in classics. You have romance. You have the drama. You have the big orchestras. I mean, all the modern music we know, our teacher from harmony was teaching us Bach and Beatles. How is this written and what's the logic of this?
You know, they say that the contemporary music is really hard to learn. Is that true?
Contemporary meaning what?
I mean, something more modern.
Like modern composers?
Yes.
Oh, depends who it is, because contemporary includes a lot of things. If we speak 20th century music, yes, it's difficult to play really great pieces, but modern arts can be anything nowadays. There are pieces, I performed in Art Expo, so I took one of the pieces. I thought, okay, I'll take this risk. If it goes well, bomba. If it doesn't, embirazim.
What was it about?
I'm going to leave the country anyway.
No.
The piece is written by John Cage, who is a contemporary artist. It's called 433, which is 4 minutes and 33 seconds of silence. Silence. So you literally show up. It could not be more performance than that. I've never done something like that.
It was your first time?
Yeah, because it's not really my...
Then why you wanted to risk everything?
I wanted to give it a try for this moment of meditation, how people are going to react. And I thought from all the performances, performing at an art exhibition is the best place to just try it out. And during pregnancy, I started another project which has to do with music and mental health and well-being in general. And I noticed, because the world we live in is so anxious.
Yeah.
It's not even about
They
speed,
have a lot
it's
of
anxiety.
stress. Yes.
Yeah, but stress is also a mental thing. I mean, when I speak to my yaya, who had a much harder life than I ever did, and who birthed 10 children,
Yeah.
not one, and who didn't have help for the child, and didn't have money, and went through world wars,
And everything. They struggle. They have really struggles.
she doesn't know what stress means.
Yeah.
When I ask her, she's like, what do you mean by stress? Something is hard? No, like you're stressed.
I feel something inside, something that stresses me
So
out.
I don't think it's just about what happens in your life. I think the time we live in is just a very anxious time. I mean, look at children today. Everyone's anxious.
I know. And even for small things, nothing big.
But this is what I would like to, if I can, contribute with my work as an artist, as a mother as well. I'm really curious to build community where we can have a nice discussion. My concerts are a little different. It's not just playing music. I bring a shrink on stage, like I'm sitting with you now, and we have a cocktail.
Yeah.
And we discuss this kind of things. We discuss anxiety and how to help ourselves, and especially our kids. I don't know the statistics in Cyprus, but in Croatia, every second kid is on some serious medicament therapy.
Do you think that
this is not... We can't ignore these facts.
I know.
And we all have to do something to... I'm not talking about changing the world, but I do think we can do a little. Just learning to relax, just learning to be present. Music is a beautiful tool in this. Having good conversations with good people, having real conversations, because I noticed a similarity between Cypriot culture and Croatian culture, where I come from. There is a lot of shame and a lot of trying to show everything great to the outside, which I can understand why it was like that. But in the time we live in, I think that's not the way to deal with things. And I think we could help each other a lot if sometimes we would just be open and honest to say, okay, you don't have to do it publicly like I do to a friend, to ask for help. Anxieties and depressions, I mean, those are things that are so easily treatable. If you deal with the fact that, okay, this is happening, I have a problem, or my kid has a problem, let's do something about it.
Have you felt that?
Anxiety? Oh yeah, I had...
And did you ask for help? Or it was a situation that you thought that you might can come through yourself without asking any help?
I was much younger, and I had this superhero complex, so I thought I can do everything, until I started having such anxiety attacks that I was afraid to leave the apartment. I mean, I'm a stage person, so I was physically afraid.
Do you know that
leave.
plenty?
So then I did ask for help.
Do you know that plenty of musicians are afraid of the people, but when they are on stage, they feel something different?
Yeah, because when you're with music, you're not really that interested who is around you when you're in your own world of creation. I'm always laughing when my husband asks me how many people are coming to the concert when I have a concert. I said, I don't know, that's not my job. It's the job of the organizer. But for me, it really doesn't make a difference, because playing for 200, 2,000 or 20,000 people is the same thing, because you and your instrument, this is a relationship.
Yeah.
And now who is looking at that relationship? Of course, you always hope for a full house, but it doesn't really affect it so much. And the chemistry in the room is similar to going to a date. Sometimes you can have a spectacular concert, but you don't feel this
connection
love with the audience.
And the chemistry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes I remember performing in Switzerland in a really, really small place. My God, that was magical. there was just something
energy.
in the air. Yes, and it's not about that I played best ever in my life, and it's not about having 5 TV broadcasting it. It's really, it's very similar to dating. Every concert is like a first date.
Do you remember your first date with Savas?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Where was it?
It was in Zagreb, in Croatia, where I lived at the time, and we met there through a mutual friend from London and Croatia. So he was traveling, inviting me for, he called it non-threatening dates. He played it very cool, which was very smart, because if I would have felt this stress and pressure, I would probably
move out.
Yeah. I wouldn't be that interested, because there were, many factors of, I don't know who he is, and it's a different country, and I already had years of living abroad and traveling, and I was just starting to settle in Croatia. I had my dog. I was working a lot. Pablo, Bambo.
Pablo, Bambo. It depends on which country you are. If you are in Cyprus, then it's Bambo.
No.
If you are in Croatia, it's Pablo.
We're joking, yeah. We call him both names. When I met him, I wasn't that interested in having a relationship in general. I was at I was very happy with my little life, and I didn't want anyone to disturb it. So our first dates were in Croatia, and then when he came to my concert in Zagreb, about a month after we met, he kind of invited himself, because I told him about the concert. I said, of course, if you want, you can come, but just to warn you, because there are going to be some guests of mine and friends and family. After the concert, I can't really go for a drink, because I have to say hello to people.
Yeah. You have to be friendly.
Yeah, no problem. So he came alone, and he was sitting in the audience alone, and he had big, beautiful red roses, because I told him I like flowers. So when we just met, I told him I like flowers, and that I find it really sad that men today don't bring flowers to women, because they're confused. Is it an offense or not, or should you be an independent? Blah, blah. So he came to my concert with flowers, and that's the first time I was like, totally.
That was just like
first of many.
Yeah. So you love flowers.
Yeah.
Now, after all these years, he still brings you flowers.
He does, not as often as he used to, I have to admit. But then when I notice that, I get myself flowers. And
you put Miley Cyrus on.
Yeah. Actually, I do, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not here. I'm just guessing.
I do, yeah. No, he still makes an effort, but of course it's a different thing when you're starting a relationship and you're in this bubble, just the two of you, and a different thing when you have a family life and work and kids, and we travel a lot as well. My husband travels for work quite often, so it's not as easy to find time to just be the couple, and that's why I think it's even more important when you have a family to find this time, no matter, I mean, it can be 20 minutes alone.
How is your daily life with your kids?
With my son?
Yeah, Achilles, yeah.
Quite organized. So until 4 in Croatia and 5 in Cyprus in the afternoon, he's in care, he's in kindergarten. Until he was 2 years old, a little bit before, I had help in the house, and I traveled everywhere with him. So I insisted that anywhere I go, even for concerts, I insisted that he's always with me. And I noticed in the beginning that some people were looking at me a bit like, okay, she's a little crazy, dragging a kid here and there. But he's such a happy character as well, and so open, and like say every child is curious, but he's really an open, friendly kid. He says hello to all the passengers.
He plays the piano?
Yeah, he does. Because when I started practicing, he was next to me in the playpen.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. So do you think that when he grows up, he will be a pianist?
Oh, no. I mean, I can't tell. He's 2 years old. I don't think so. If you ask me as a mom, if I would want him to become a professional pianist, no, I would prefer that he takes something else and keeps music as his love.
As a hobby, maybe.
Yeah, you can always have this. My husband is an excellent pianist.
You have two kinds of pianos in the house.
Yeah, I brought mine, and my husband had his before. and he was really sad when I came along because he told me that before we met, playing piano was his trick for chicks. And now he said, "You're a professional pianist. What the hell do I do now?" I think that's why he was getting so many flowers.
Maybe, yeah, sometimes you have different kind of mindset, but God has different kind of plans.
Plans for you, yeah. So I tried to encourage him to play as often as possible because it's just beautiful to have music in your life. No matter what kind of music, it doesn't have to be anything professional. Just music in your house is just joy.
What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind?
I never really thought about legacy. You mean as a musician or as a person?
As a person and of course a musician. Both.
As a person, I would love to... As a person, I would love to leave to kids what my parents gave to me. Some principles and values, because I think your principle... My dad told me one thing that really got stuck with me. I was going through a really hard time. I was in my early 20s. I lived abroad. I traveled a lot. It was very competitive. My family has nothing to do with music. So they were also kind of scared because they don't understand how this works. But they were fully supportive because I loved it and I was really doing great. And I asked my father, who is for me the strength and the health. I don't know, this man is just blessed with this. No matter what hardship in life, there is this spine. How do you call it in Greek?
Ο σπόνδυλος, σπονδυλική στήλη.
Yes, there is just this stability. So whenever I would have a really hard time, I would ask him for an advice because he didn't understand what I do, but I thought, come on, he came from nothing. He built something on his own. We went through a lot in our family with my youngest brother, who was born with many problems, and he still kept his stability and this positive outlook on life. And this is something I really admire, and I would love to leave this to kids, this sense that you can do it, that you have the strength
and the power.
Yes, that you can do anything and that you can survive anything. And he told me one thing, because I wasn't sure in which way to go back then, and which manager to choose, like things where you would want to have somebody from the business to advise you, because what do you know? What is this? What is that? And he told me, listen, whatever you do, whatever you decide, you can change jobs, you can change husbands, you can change... Things happen in life. You never know. The only important thing is that you're healthy, because then you can do anything. Mm-hmm. And he said the only thing that nobody can ever take away from you is your principles. Everything else can change. You can have money, you can lose it. You can have fame and fortune, you can lose it. People can like you, then they can dislike you. Then you can be successful in something, and then the world changes. COVID happened.
It's about wins and losing things.
Yeah, but if your principle is there, and then I thought, so my rule was always my principle and my skills. And that's why I love knowledge so much, because I think when you have any kind of skill, no matter what happens, and I've moved around a lot, when you have that, you're always able to provide for yourself, to create a life, you're never dependent. So this was kind of my principle. My principle.
And walking. Your rule.
Yeah, so I would like to leave this legacy to kids, and I'm really happy that I already see in my son, and that's really a blessing because you never know the character of the kid. I see this independency, and I really love this trait. And two things I love about people is independency and curiosity. And if you keep that as an adult, and that's why I think it's brilliant when you spend time with little kids and animals, because as adults we stop being curious because you need to survive in a society.
Yeah.
And people who ask too many questions and say truths are not very liked.
Of course, but when you're younger, you want to explore, you want to get to know things. You want to find...
Kids will tell you this brilliant truth just like this.
Yeah, they don't mind, but because they don't know about how this world works, that's a problem.
No, but they keep your mind fresh.
And awakened.
Yeah, so basically an ideal of a mind of an artist is a mind of a child.
That's really good.
Honestly, that's how it should be. It's really hard to balance that out with real life and real people, because not everyone gets it in the right way. So sometimes I need to explain myself. But I stopped doing that as well, because I thought people who get it just get it.
I know.
People
If
who
you
don't
know,
just
you
don't.
know.
And it's okay. Let's just be polite to each other. And
So where can people find you?
besides concerts,
Yeah, not only.
well, they can find me in the park with my dog.
On Instagram?
No, I'm on all the social channels. I have Matea Leko and Matea Leko Piano, Instagram,
Facebook.
YouTube, Facebook, Apple, Spotify,
Twitter?
All those digital platforms for music. Twitter I don't use.
Oh, okay.
I should actually, but I would like to find someone to do it for me.
Okay.
TikTok as well, because I don't know. I'm too old to do it myself.
No, you never.
If there is a brilliant kid out there doing TikTok, get in touch. No, it's a brilliant platform, especially for little pieces of music. But yeah, I really don't know how to do it myself.
It's fine. We will find someone for you.
Okay.
So, Matea, honestly, I can talk hours with you because you are really easygoing. You are so comfortable to be around. Thank you so much. I wish you nothing but the best, honestly.
My pleasure. Thank you.